Ever been absolutely convinced you remember something correctly, even getting into heated debates over it, only to find out you were completely wrong? Well, you might be experiencing something called the Mandela Effect, a phenomenon named after Nelson Mandela himself. This curious effect occurs when large groups of people remember something that never happened or recall it in a way that's completely off the mark. Imagine everyone vividly recalling a famous event that in reality never took place. But what's really going on here? Is the Mandela Effect just a series of strange coincidences, or is there a scientific explanation lurking behind these collective false memories? Stick around until the end, and you might just form your own theory about it. Before we dive into this fascinating topic, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Now, let's get into it. The Mandela Effect, a mind-bending phenomenon, occurs when a whole group of people fiercely believes in an event that never actually happened. Why does this happen? Neuroscientists offer various explanations, but don't worry, it's not a sign of a failing memory or time travel tampering. Researchers at the University of Chicago have described the Mandela Effect as an internet phenomenon, describing shared and consistent false memories for specific icons in popular culture. It's a real and observable occurrence, though it remains a mystery without a clear explanation. The term was coined in 2009 by Fiona Broome, a self-proclaimed paranormal consultant, after she discovered many people like herself wrongly remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison during the 1980s, despite him living until 2013. Given how widespread the Mandela Effect is, we've compiled a list of examples and explanations to see how many resonate with you. Take those beloved children's books and cartoons about a family of bears. You probably remember them as the Berenstain Bears. But here's the twist, they're actually the Berenstain Bears. The simple explanation is that names ending in Stein are much more common than those ending in Stain, leading many of us to misread or mishear the titles repeatedly as kids. While some can brush it off, for others, this realization leaves a stain on their sense of reality. Now here's a quick question. Who starred in that 90s movie about a genie? Some of us correctly recall NBA star Shaquille O'Neal, who had a sporadic movie career back then. But others are convinced it was comedian Sinbad, who was also a familiar face in children's films during that time. And they even remember the movie being called Shazam, not Kazam. Are folks mixing up different films in their minds? If only we had a genie to clear up this mystery. The Mandela Effect doesn't stop at movie stars, it even messes with iconic movie lines. Think back to Star Wars, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. You probably remember Darth Vader's chilling line as, "Luke, I am your father." But the actual line is, "No, I am your father."
I am your father.
Most people remember it wrong, and it's one of the most misquoted lines in movie history, and it doesn't end there. In the 1937 Disney classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the evil queen stands before her enchanted mirror. You might recall her saying, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" Surprise! She actually says, "Magic mirror on the wall." This mix-up is even more puzzling because the original fairy tale does say, "Mirror, mirror," but Disney's version does not. It seems we've been blending the fairy tale with the film all along. But how could something as iconic as Snow White be so widely misremembered? Beam me up, Scotty! This line is as iconic to Star Trek as "Live long and prosper." Funny thing though, no one in the show or movies ever actually says it. Most attribute it to Captain Kirk, but the exact phrase is never spoken by anyone in the franchise. Variations like "Scotty, beam me up" do appear occasionally, but the phrase itself is absent. So why is this misquote as widespread? Is it just because it sounds catchy? Or did someone mess with our timeline, sending us into a mirror universe where we all remember it wrong? Now let's talk about Casablanca, a titan of cinema with unforgettable lines like, "Here's looking at you, kid," and "We'll always have Paris." But one of its most quoted lines, "Play it again, Sam," was never actually spoken in the film. People often think Humphrey Bogart's character, Rick, says it to the piano player Sam, asking him to play as time goes by. However, the exact words are never uttered. Maybe in the pre-home video days, folks just misremembered it. Still, you'd think a film buff like Woody Allen would have known better before naming a movie after a misquote. Then there's Pikachu, the adorable red-cheeked mascot of the massive Pokémon franchise. With its image everywhere, you'd think its features would be burned into everyone's memory. Yet some people are convinced that Pikachu's tail used to have a black tip, like its ears. This misconception is so widespread that there are plenty of images out there featuring Pikachu with a black-tipped tail. Maybe it's just a case of nostalgia playing tricks on our minds, or perhaps there's more to it. And here's a real head-scratcher. Where is New Zealand in relation to Australia? Look at a map, and you'll see it clearly southeast of the continent. Yet there's a whole group of people who distinctly remember New Zealand being northeast of Australia. How could this be? Some suggest the Mandela Effect could be explained by the many worlds or multiverse theory of quantum mechanics. This theory posits that people like Fiona Broome aren't misremembering events. Rather, their realities have intersected with another. Though the multiverse concept is now a staple in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the many worlds interpretation originated in the mid-20th century. Erwin Schrödinger, trying to explain phenomena in quantum physics, proposed that all possible outcomes of events happen simultaneously in parallel worlds. Then, in 1955, PhD student Hugh Everett introduced the idea that the universe splits into alternate versions whenever a quantum decision is made. Each choice creates a new universe, identical up until that crucial moment. Now let's be clear, quantum physicists in the 1950s developed the many worlds interpretation to explain quantum experiments, not the Mandela Effect. But by this logic, both timelines, the one where Mandela died in prison and the one where he lived until 2013, exist in separate realities. Those who remember events differently might not be misremembering. They could have lived in one universe and somehow switched into another, or perhaps reality itself has shifted. Without a real-life Doctor Strange or Kang the Conqueror to guide us, how and why could our realities be shifting so dramatically? Now there's a compelling theory swirling around that CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, might be the reason our realities are shifting. According to some, CERN's experiments could have hurled us into an alternate reality, with the Large Hadron Collider at the heart of this cosmic conspiracy. Since its opening in 2008 and its recent reboot in July 2022, the Large Hadron Collider, the world's most powerful particle accelerator, has been designed to unlock the deepest secrets of the universe. The theory has gained momentum on platforms like TikTok, where a so-called whistleblower claims CERN is opening parallel dimensions and even impacting our climate. As CERN prepared to power up again, conspiracy theorists and fans of Netflix's Stranger Things speculated that it might tear open a portal to another universe. Adding fuel to the fire is Max Laughlin, a young prodigy whose theories about the Large Hadron Collider have stirred global concern. Known for his groundbreaking insights into the universe, Max now presents his ideas not just as scientific speculation, but as urgent warnings. In his videos, he details his alarming assertions about CERN's experiments and the potential portals they might have opened. One of Max Laughlin's most chilling theories suggests that CERN's experiments are tearing apart the very fabric of our existence, thrusting us into a parallel reality eerily similar to our own. This isn't a wild leap. The Large Hadron Collider, a colossal machine designed to split subatomic particles and simulate the Big Bang, has been at the forefront of such high-stakes testing. According to Max, the experiments conducted by this machine might have fractured the universe, shifting humanity into a parallel dimension. He elaborates that our multiverse is filled with an infinite number of parallel realities, each experiment could have sent us spiraling into a web of alternate timelines. We had an original timeline, Max explains, but as soon as the anomaly occurred during the experiment, we were catapulted into an endless sea of parallel universes. Max asserts realities are constantly transitioning into other universes. What we perceive as our current reality is merely one of countless possibilities. Max goes further, suggesting that CERN scientists might have detected these disruptions in the space-time continuum and intervened to adjust historical events. This implies that reality as we understand it may be far more fluid than we ever imagined. He connects these ideas to the Mandela Effect, proposing that our experience of different realities and the shifting nature of our universe could be linked to CERN's experiments. Is our reality truly a shifting mosaic of parallel universes, or are we caught in an elaborate game of cosmic chess? As the buzz around CERN's experiments heats up on TikTok, particle physicist Clara Nellist is stepping up to set the record straight. "I'm seeing a surge in viral videos making wild claims about CERN," she says. "It's clear we need to engage more because people are getting their information from conspiracy theories rather than the facts." Yet, while some are diving deep into conspiracy theories, others are taking a more technological approach, suggesting we might be living inside a real-life version of the Matrix. This theory proposes that our entire reality is a sophisticated simulation, controlled or confined by advanced beings. The roots of this idea stretch back to Nick Bostrom's 2003 simulation argument paper, but it gained mainstream attention thanks to the 1999 sci-fi blockbuster The Matrix. Even ancient philosophy hints at similar ideas, with Plato's cave allegory and Zhuangzhou's butterfly dream exploring the nature of reality and illusion. If this simulation theory holds any weight, it could explain the Mandela Effect. Imagine if glitches in the simulation, or deliberate adjustments by its creators, led to false memories. Perhaps the errors are intentional, designed to test our reactions or stir up doubts about our reality. In this scenario, any realization of our simulated existence might itself be part of the grand design. What makes these theories so intriguing is their elusive nature. While you can't conclusively prove them, you also can't definitively disprove them. But the notion that the Mandela Effect could be the result of the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics faces a critical obstacle. The theory says that information cannot travel between parallel worlds. This limitation, while adding a layer of intrigue, also means the theory falls short when trying to explain how we could have memories from alternate realities. Turning to CERN and its Large Hadron Collider, opinions remain divided. According to the International Mandela Effect Conference, CERN's role is as plausible as any other theory at this stage. However, one board member pointed out that Mandela effects began surfacing well before CERN's Large Hadron Collider even came online, suggesting that the collider may not be the root cause. In response to swirling conspiracy theories, a CERN spokesperson addressed the buzz. CERN's groundbreaking research captures the imagination of many, which is why it's been a feature in numerous science fiction novels and films worldwide. So, while CERN might spark wild theories and pop culture references, it's clear that the roots of the Mandela Effect run deeper and stretch further back than any recent scientific endeavor. But before we dive into the idea that we might be living out the plot lines of the Multiverse of Madness, the Matrix, or even the Stranger Things, let's explore some grounded, real-world explanations. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Psychological Science reveals that 76% of adults make at least one error when recalling information, despite most scoring high on memory tests. Even the sharpest minds can misremember details. One intriguing theory is that the Mandela Effect might stem from how our brains process and store memories. Neuroscientist Caitlin Armott sheds light on this phenomenon. Memories are organized in the brain so that similar memories are stored in nearby neurons. When a memory is recalled, these neurons can adjust their connections, allowing new information to be added. However, because neurons that fire together wire together, False memories can emerge from incorrect associations. Consider this. If you learn Alexander Hamilton was a founding father while also learning he wasn't a president, yet other founding fathers were, your brain might mistakenly merge these details. Thus, you might remember Hamilton as a president due to overlapping neural pathways. A classic example is the confusion surrounding Nelson Mandela's death. Many people remember Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, but in reality, it was anti-apartheid activist Steve Biko who died under those circumstances in 1977. Given their similar roles and achievements, it's plausible that people have mixed up the memories of these two influential leaders. Additionally, let's see how the internet might be fueling our susceptibility to false memories. According to neuroscientist Caitlin Armott, suggestibility is the tendency to accept and believe what others suggest as true. This concept explains why lawyers can't ask leading questions. They don't want to taint a witness's recollection. It turns out that when we're exposed to incorrect information, it can actually distort our existing memories. For instance, if someone suggests you once read the Berenstain Bears, your mind might start to create a memory of having done just that. The internet, with its vast reach and speed, plays a crucial role in this phenomenon. It's a double-edged sword. While it helps spread information, it also makes it easier for myths and misconceptions to take root. As misinformation circulates, people form communities around these falsehoods, turning what started as mere speculation into perceived facts. In fact, a staggering 10-year study of over 100,000 news stories on Twitter reveals the extent of this issue. The research showed that hoaxes and rumors outpaced the truth by about 70%. And this wasn't due to manipulation or bots. Real, verified accounts were responsible for spreading these falsehoods far more than they did the truth. Every time someone shares their version of an event, those recollections can subtly shift the memories of others, leading to a shared misremembering. Take the case of Sinbad and the elusive movie Shazam. Sinbad did star in various 90s films and even appeared on a poster for Houseguest in a pose reminiscent of a genie, which might explain why people associate him with a genie movie. He also dressed as a genie for a 1990s event he hosted. When a mention of Shazam surfaced online, it didn't just fade into the background, it spread like wildfire, influencing countless people's memories of Sinbad's filmography. Online chatter quickly turned this fictional movie into a so-called fact, as communities embraced it as real. This phenomenon ties into the psychology of memory. The more a false detail is repeated, the stronger the conviction that it's true, even if it's entirely inaccurate. Each incorrect piece of information that gets circulated becomes embedded in others' memories, reinforcing a collective belief in its accuracy. It's a powerful example of how misinformation can morph into fact through repetition and social influence. And here's another intriguing twist. What if people simply struggle to admit when they're wrong? Scientists point out that many folks cling to their own memories, even when faced with evidence to the contrary. This could be driven by a need to protect their ego or by cognitive dissonance, the uncomfortable feeling of holding on to conflicting information while resisting a change in perspective. This adds a whole new layer to the Mandela Effect mystery. Each instance of these puzzling false memories might have its own unique explanation, making it a complex puzzle to piece together. So what do you think? Is the Mandela Effect the real deal, or just a fascinating quirk of the human mind? Have you ever experienced it yourself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this mind-bending topic, give us a thumbs up, share the video, and hit that subscribe button. And don't miss our next video. Click on the screen to continue the adventure.